Hi everyone, so today is one of those days again where Mason doesn't want to sleep but Mommy wants to play in her journal. So I just wanted to show you quickly. There's a video where I made these faces, which was super fun to do. Today I want to take it slightly to the next level. I want just to add a few more details, but it still won't be too difficult. Now, the other day on James Burke's Instagram, I saw this lovely illustration he had of this redhead, and I felt so inspired. I mean, this looks nothing like his, completely and utterly different style, different look, but I was inspired by the red hat, and the rest of the thing I just kind of did my own illustration and whatever ideas I had. And I really like this idea of adding fine details on top of watercolor. You can do it either way, either first or after. The way I've done here is just kind of blobbed on some watercolor and then went over, so it makes it a little bit more sketchy. So I will list all of the, or I try to list all of the products that I use in the description below so that you can have a look. So this is the platinum carbon ink pen that I use in pretty much most of my videos and illustrations. So yeah, so the style then, I started sort of drawing and painting these girls because I don't want to do a great detail like that today. So to simplify that, I then decided to just do the torso and not even do the arms, because I'm not great at arms, and a lot of people find painting arms quite complicated and hard. So we're just going to do the torso today, and we're going to give them a little outfit which I haven't decided whether I'm going to use watercolor or just the ink pen, but I quite like this girl right here. There is something like a more of a fashion sense to her. And then we could do things like adding some earrings or some Alice bands, or just leave it like that. Here is another illustration I have done, which again I left the arms and the feet out, as that's something I struggle with. I've done a bit of a dress and a bit of a blue hair situation here, which is okay, but I try to work on the detail, and again it's a bit too much. So like I said, I'm just going to concentrate on the head and the torso. So we're going to give a lovely colorful hair, a nice big sort of lip, bright lip color, and give her sort of winged eyeliner, and possibly some earrings and some detail on the torso, but not too much. So that's what I'm intending to do today, and it's supposed to be a little bit more detailed than just the heads over here, but hopefully it will be equally fun and relaxing to do. So I've got a page here in my, this is the Jane Davenport journal, which I haven't used in a while actually, and I feel like, you know, I'm not sort of doing too much work in it. As you can see, there's still a lot to go through. So my intention for this year, or at least for the coming month, is to really start drawing more frequently. So let's start. So I'm just going to guide you through of how to do this. So before we do anything, we just need a smallish watercolor brush. I'm going to use my round size 3, and I have a little bit of a stained water in my water jar, which is alright because we're not creating a masterpiece today. And for my watercolors, okay, so I'm going to use my Schminke Horadam actually today, because it's got lovely skin tones which in the end I decided to keep because I don't have any other watercolor palette where I have this range of colors, because I tend to take them out. But actually in Schminke I quite like them for hair color, skin color. All of these are lovely colors, which I will use today. So to begin with, just take any color, which you don't need to have a very realistic skin tone, because these are sort of just fun illustrations. I'm going to go into Naples yellow, and I am going to try and water it out slightly because I don't want it to be too opaque. This is a not a very transparent color, so we're going to first of all just quite quickly do an oval, and then a long line which represents our neck, and then something like a triangle. Take some water and water it out and leave it at that. That's literally all we're going to do. And let's do a couple of them. Next one, I'll go for yellow ochre. I actually really like this, a skinny tone. So just like that. A neck, long and thin, that's the key for this type of look, and then just water it out like that, just to suggest some shoulders, but not more, nothing else. And and then let me just do the June Brilliant Dark, just very similar to the first one. Okay, that's it. So while it's drying, next step we're going to do is the hair. Now go for something fun, go for something you wouldn't usually dare to go for. So I'll go for the Ruby Red Deep, lovely color, and I'm going to start just above there and here, just above the hairline. Not above the hairline, but just above the face that we drew. And now, before the watercolor dries and sets, I'm going to add some water and just really quickly, like so, dab it in. There's no need for precision, and that's why it's so fun. You can correct it a little bit if you need to. And that's one. Next one. Let me go for this color, which is the Ultramarine Violet. Quite an unusual color. It's also super granulating. And so I'm just going to give her some blue hair, basically, or lilac-y hair. What I find works really nice as well, apart from just adding a few waters and create those blooms, I quite like, while the paper is still wet, adding some of the quinacridone gold hue and just dab it in here and there, but making sure that the watercolor is still wet so it can actually flow a little bit. And then on top I just dab some water, and so it makes it a bit more interesting. It doesn't just sit there like so. Just help it to spread a little. And what shall we go for the next one? I'll go for the Delft Blue. It's a lovely dark color and something you don't see every day, so why not? I believe if I add some of the quinacridone gold here, it's going to create some lovely greens. So I'm just going to dab some water to make sure it's all nice and wet, and then quickly go into quinacridone gold hue and just dab it into places like so. and then just a bit of water and let it flow. There you go, that's our 3 faces. Now I'm going to dry it really quickly, so whenever you're doing something easy and quick in watercolor, it's very helpful to have some hairdryer next to you, or one of these things that you can get from a craft arts and crafts shop. They're very, very hot, so be very careful that you don't bring it close to your skin at all. This is a lot more powerful than a hairdryer. Okay, so next thing, we're going to take our fountain pen or your pen of choice, but I highly recommend this pen just because, let me just get this jar of water away, just because I have a true obsession with this pen. It's lovely. So what we're going to do is we're just going to outline the face and the body like so, and try to make it quite easy, so you don't need to any level of precision. So next thing I'm going to do is add some ears and just small earrings to begin with. I'll see later what I want anything else. And then in terms of the body, let's do this sort of Marilyn Monroe type of dress. So we kind of have like a heart and then a little belt area, and then just continue a couple of lines into the rest of the bottom of the part of the dress. And then for details, I'm just going to draw these lines very close together, and I'm hardly pushing onto the paper so that I can get the finest line like so. And I'm going to also continue the same over here, although this part doesn't really matter because we're not concentrating on that, but it's nice just to have something going on. Let me just zoom in slightly more. So that looks nice. You could continue with the arms, but I really just like to let it kind of have halfway, so a little bit of watercolor and then just the line work. Next thing we're going to do is just add some eyebrows. So you can create eyebrows that are straight, eyebrows that have some arches, but one thing is try to make them a similar shape to one another. Then we're going to draw these big eyes and give a nice generous eyeliner with a feline flick like so, and big eyes. That's it. And then just these 2 little dots for the nose area. And now I'm going to actually take my palette away now, but I realize I need some lips, don't I? So actually on the, I've got this little scrub of a removable, what is it called? Tear off palette. I've got some bits of watercolor here, which would work really well for lipstick. So I'm just going to wake these colors up and start by adding some lips like so. And then just to create a bit of a blush, I don't want this bright color, so I'm just going to go in like so, and then dry my brush off and pick up some of this color because I don't want it to be that dark. I want it to be just a gentle blush today. Sometimes I like it to be a lot more intense. So the next one I'm going to do is this one, so that they have time to dry by the time we get back to it. And Then we're going to take the same thing, water it out, dilute it, and then just add these blush areas right here like that, and it looks quite easy. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is use another color. I'm sorry I can't tell you which ones these are, just because I was playing with some of the new watercolors that I have been ordering recently, and so I don't remember which one is which exactly. Okay, so that's enough. As all of these are drying, we're going to continue